Hello everybody. So today I want to give you a sneak peek and a short comparison between two word study Bibles or keyword study Bibles that helps you to understand some selected words from the Bible, whether that is Greek or Hebrew. So I've got two versions here. So this is Word Study Bible by Thomas Nelson. And this version is with two translations, New King James and Standard King James. And I also have another one. This is by AMG Publishers. So this is a Hebrew Greek Keyword Study Bible. And this one actually comes in few translations. That's ESV, which I have over here. We've got also New American Standard Bible. We've got New King James Version, we've got King James Version, and also CSB. So you have a more variety of translation in this case. So let me show you both of them quickly, and then you can make a decision maybe which one you would prefer. You can clearly see this one, this version is standard hardback, so there's no additional box. This one is a bonded leather version, and it comes as a nice box. So in terms of this one, let me just give you a sneak peek. So there is a dust cover. Without dust cover also looks kind of a nice. I really like this inscription over here. As I said, this is a hardbound, so standard cover. Then we've got introduction. This is a Thomas Nelson edition. There is, as you can probably already see, a show through our shadowing. Even over here you can clearly see the shadowing going through from the back of some table, so that's going to be visible throughout. Paper is very thin, almost like a thin line edition of any Bible that you may know. And this one has some introduction, of course, and it clearly says it has more than 1,700 keywords discussed. So how it works is that you've got the short introduction of the book of the Bible, watchwords, and then let me zoom in. You will have words here. So how it works is that you've got the standard text, and then the words which are underlined would have a definition. So in this case, for example, create over here is underlined, and you've got create described over here. From Hebrew, you've got short definition and description, and all other words, if they're not fitting in the page, will be discussed later. So for example, heavens will be described under Genesis 1:9, so we have to go further, and we've got heavens over here. So this is how it works. So what fits within the page is on this page. All the other ones you need to go further within the Bible itself. And probably you can also clearly see here the show through. And to be honest, it is actually bothering me a lot. It's not easy to read when you've got this shadowing over here. This is the font is about 10 points, so it's readable font. It's good black. However, the page are too thin, I think. What they wanted to do, they wanted to add this additional material, and this goes at the sacrifice of the thin pages, and then the shadowing bleeding through, as they maybe say. So this is how it works throughout the Bible, whether that's in the Old or New Testament. It's a double column text. If you go to the New Testament, this is the Psalms, so the same approach, but this background over here is showing through a lot. Like over here, you can clearly see almost like a table here, because the page before you've got the definition of a word. The definitions are generally descriptions. They do not go deeper into grammar or variations too much. However, they're very useful, and they have references to other materials. For example, we've got hard over here, as you can clearly see. I'm not the expert in those ancient languages, so I'm not going to be describing the quality of this description, generally speaking, but it is very useful. And we also have the strong word as well, so I think that's very useful. What else you've gonna get in this Bible? Let me go to the back. It's going to end up with our versions all to the Revelation, and then you're going to end up with a few additional materials. They're not a lot, so you're going to end up with something what they called English word index, and that's very useful. This is something that the other Bible is lacking. So you can take any English word, and then you see where it's mentioned, and then you see the strong word, and then the word itself, and you can go to this reference and then read what this word means in the original language. So that's very useful. Then you can go the other way around, and you will have scripture passage index. So you're going to get different scriptures, and then the strong indication in the word itself in the original language and in the English word that we have in our Bible. So that's pretty useful. And then you've got Hebrew number index, which is, simply speaking, strong number and then the word itself. So that's pretty useful. And then we're going to end up with Greek numbers, and then a concise concordance that you would expect in a study Bible. So this is how it ends. And the last but not least are a few maps. They are a glossy paper. They are not very thick, but for sure they are thicker than the standard pages of the Bible. Few of them, they're the ones that Thomas Nelson usually adds. And that's the end. And they recommend, of course, if you want to go deeper, use the Wine's Complete Expository Dictionary. You can buy this one depending on a version you want to have. There's also a version which is an imitation leather. So this hardback is about $37-8. The leather version is about $45, depending when you're gonna buy it. So you can check it out on Amazon or other retailers. I would say it's a pretty good version, but it's not so nice to read because of the shadowing that it's there, as I mentioned. Otherwise, it's nice to read. You'll see the comparison when I'm gonna show you the other one. So this one, Keyword Study Bible from AMG Publishers. This one is it's a little bit different. So what you're gonna get is, depending on the version, I've got here a bond leather. You've got a very nice box. It's a thick box that you can easily carry. This you can put it on your shelf. So it's nice to just keep it, and it will not get damaged or trouble with it, right? So it's a very nice box that you're gonna get. Then if you open the box, here is my version. As I said, it's a bonded leather, and by the way, indexed. You also get this, a guarantee, and this guarantee means that you can register and they can replace it if it's damaged by some way, okay? And you can also get a free ebook Word for the day if you register on their website, with just a small thing, but makes it show that they care for their customer a lot, okay? So then the Bible itself. So this one definitely is bigger. You will see a comparison in a second. This is bonded leather. There is a nice inscription on a side. There is one ribbon. In the other one, we didn't have any ribbons. That was standard hardback. This one has ribbons. It's indexed. In my case, it's indexed, and also nice finishing around the edges. So it really looks well made. It is actually well made. It's of course smooth sewn, and you can see bonded leather black in the back. You also get just additional thing in terms of grammar, the grammatical codes. For those of you who are gonna go deeper, already know Hebrew, Greek could be very useful. So these are additional things, and then you're gonna go to the Bible itself. So this is not Crossway. So this is a different publisher, NMG. So they have their own way of publishing Bibles. This is a thick Bible. See, you can have different versions, hardbound, general leather, bonded leather, depending which one you would prefer. This one was printed in South Korea. So how it works, this one is completely different approach. So I'm gonna go directly to the text. There is a longer introduction, a smaller text, and how it works that, let me go and zoom in, is that you're gonna get a text of the Bible. The font is very readable. The paper is also very good quality. You will see it through. There is no showing through, almost no showing through, so it's nice to read. And how it works is that you're gonna get a word like this one, beginning. There was a number, and then you take this number and you go to the back of the Bible. So let me show you. This is 7225. Zoom out. I'm gonna go to the back. Old Testament 7225. 4, 6, 7, 2, 2, 7, 2 to 5. Here it is. 7, 2 to 5. And now you will see this definition over here. 7, 2 to 5. And that's the word that it's used over there. And you can read this definition. So you can see here, there was a description from the same as, there was another one, the first in place, time, order, or rank, especially there was description of a noun. And depending how the word is described, or what is the word, you can get more text. For example, there is a continuation on the other side over here, and there's more, right? So generally speaking, this approach makes this a very kind of more useful approach and deeper study in terms of words. But there is a downside of it. As you can clearly see, that a lot of words are highlighted, underlined, and these numbers here are bolded, so it's harder to see them. Some of them are actually italics, some of them are not bolded. If they're not bolded, they are generally speaking have just the strong numbers. So there is small to it than it is. There is a very nice description how it looks like and what each of these sections means. So you can actually have a sneak peek. Here's a very nice explanation on the example of Acts, what each word means and what can it do for you. So you have a very nice explanation, of course, and you can use it. So if you want to read it, for reading it's not so good. It's really very good for studying these words in the original languages. Of course, not every word is here highlighted and explained, but a lot of them. I would say more than the other one. You will see comparison in a moment. Apart from it, you've got the cross-references from Crossway. You've got footnotes over here as well. And you've got also a new feature which are called keywords. So keywords are just additional notes that they put here in terms of the first keywords. They're highlighted with these keys here. You're going to have a longer one, and depending on the page here, for example, a shorter one, actually 2 keywords. And if you go through the Bible, you can have more or less depending what it is, right? So here you've got different keywords highlighted throughout a small comment. Here we've got Psalms. So for example, in Psalms there's no keywords on this page, just a footnote. Isaiah. So it just depends what it is, okay? So this is how the whole Bible is organized. In terms of reading it, it's nicer to read. The only disturbance I would say is these highlighted words that can kind of be distracting a little bit, and this bigger numbers. So in terms of the numbers, why I'm saying this is that if you're gonna look at it, that for example, this is the verse, right? This is 46 and this is 47, and these verses could be very close to the other numbers for referencing the words themselves. So 48 here, there's a verse number, and here's this number that goes from Hebrew or Greek. So that sometimes it's a little bit confusing when you want to quickly find a verse when there are a lot of words highlighted. So that's one big downside, I would. But otherwise, it's really, really nice to read. The paper quality is very good. I have a few Bibles, and this paper quality is so good that I would like to buy a different Bible from them just for reading, because it's a very nice, well made. Okay, so as I mentioned, you've got these words, and half of it is the Old Testament words, okay, and they are from A to Z, meaning from the first to the last word of the alphabet. For example, this is another word of the alphabet. And then you're going to get the New Testament. So the New Testament words, you're going to look into the New Testament section and the numbers. And the approach is the same. There's the word, sometimes synonyms, antonyms, different parts of the speech. So that's how you would use it. Okay. What else is hidden here? There's not much additional material. So what they added is they added a very nice section which is called grammatical notations, and this is actually a several pages of very good materials how to understand the grammar and all of that. So that's very useful, I would say. The other one doesn't have it. So you've got several pages of these additional materials about the grammar, and then you would jump to what they have is a very short section. There are actually 15 chapters of this grammatical understanding. They called scripture index, the footnotes and instructions, and it's just a reference of the footnotes they put. They don't have English or Hebrew into English or Greek words references index like the other one has, which I think this is a big thing lacking here. And the second thing you will get is the cross-way concordance, which by the way is a little bit bigger than the other one, and then the words, and you're going to end up with Bible maps, which by the way also are very good quality, glossy paper, thick paper maps that you will find in most of the crossway Bibles. So in terms of how they compare to each other, let me show it to you. So this definitely is bigger. Zooming out so you'd see it better. This definitely is bigger. As you can clearly see, this is smaller. Of course, this is a hardbound. You also get a leather bounded, so it's going to be different. But in terms of the size and the pages, for sure, this one is thicker, bigger, heavier for sure. So you need to take that under the consideration when you want to buy it. It's lace flat, so that's the good thing. But it's much bigger, but it's nicer, I would say. This one goes for about $90, this version, which is this bounded leather indexed one. You can buy the standard hardback for about $50. So the hardback, this one, and the other version of this Bible would be in similar. But in terms of how they compare to each other, as I mentioned, it's just different. So let me just open to, for example, Numbers 19. And you will see how they compare to each other. So I'll get Numbers. I'm going to go to the same chapter, and you will see 19 and 20. So here we've got on the top, you've got the other Bible, and actually on this page you only have one word, rock, and few others. So actually altogether in chapter 20, you've got about 4 or 5 words over here because the additional words, but in the other pages. Here we've got the other Bible, and as you can clearly see, many words are highlighted in chapter 20, right? So I don't want to count, but I want to, I would say about 30, 40 maybe, definitely many more. In terms of paper, I already mentioned to you, but you can clearly see that now. I can compare to that with a closer look. This is a pure white paper. This is a little bit darkish, but the showing through here is actually terrible. It's much easier now with this one when you want to read it. Okay, so depending what you want to do, if you want to do a deeper study, I would definitely recommend this one in either version, I suppose, depending what you prefer. For maybe preaching, that it's not so easy. However, I suppose it's doable. I've not done it yet. In terms of preaching, probably this would be easier, but the showing through makes it harder to use. So I hope that was useful to you. You can decide which version you want to use for studying. These are the 2 most popular ones right now available, and you can buy them on different retailers. If you want to go, of course, deeper, you would go for some stronger dictionary or study some more Hebrew or Greek to go deeper and use the interlinear or the original Bible and then do some deeper study, even in some software. But from those two, I would say that this is definitely a much better version and have more translation if you want to go. This is limited to only the King James and New King James version of the Bible. Thank you.